What's going on, guys? It's Mike for Sim Racing 604, and this is my review of the Next Level Racing FGT Elite. We're going to get it unboxed, we're going to build it, and then we're going to test it out, and I'll even use my motion platform. Let's do this. Alright guys, so before we even get this thing unboxed, let's talk a little bit more about what this is. So it is the Next Level Racing FGT Elite Cockpit, but the Elite is actually a series of products that Next Level Racing is introducing to the market. A few of them are out now. What you're looking at here is the FGT Elite bottom mount cockpit, meaning that there's a plate that will go under my wheelbase and I can screw it down onto that plate. There's also a front mount if you have mounting holes on the front of your wheelbase. There's a front mount unit as well, and there's an iRacing edition which includes a 12-month subscription to iRacing. And so it's a series of products. There's going to be monitor mounts coming soon as well. So a lot of exciting things, and links are in the description if you want to learn more. If you watched the Boosted Media review, Will did an excellent job, as he always does with his review. Steve at Race Department, another excellent job. And one thing that's, I think, sort of surprised people is the pricing of the FGT Elite Cockpit. It has an MSRP of $1,099 US. So I think a lot of people were expecting it to come in at or under $1,000. The biggest thing, I did talk to the Next Level Racing about this, and the biggest thing is that it includes shipping to most regions. And that is not insignificant at this particular point in time. If you've tried to ship anything worldwide, you know just how expensive that can be. And the shipping to your door is included. And you can learn more about that again by clicking the link in the description. So that is very cool. And just talking about what's included with this cockpit, it is strictly the cockpit. There is no seat included. So you can get a third-party seat. It does come with the mounting brackets to get most major racing seats attached. If you already own one, you can go straight away and get your seat mounted onto the FGT Elite Cockpit. Or Next Level Racing does offer the ES1 seat, which I actually got as part of this review. And so I will be mounting that and testing it out later. And full disclosure, Next Level Racing has been a partner of my channel for quite a long time. They've been a fantastic partner, and they were kind enough to send me this one for review along with the seat. So cards on the table, that's what's up, and I can't wait. This has been sitting in my house for a few days. I've been busy with family stuff, but I finally get to open it up, and I'm so excited. If you followed my channel for any length of time, you know I don't really do builds. I find it takes too much time. I get pulled away. I'm, having lunch, spending time with family, whatever it is. And so I don't like to do one continuous shot of the build, but what I'm going to do is get it unboxed, show you what's included in the box, and then we will move on to my impressions of the build and let you know how much time it took and my first impressions of it. And then we will, of course, test it out at the end of the video. And I even plan to put my motion platform on there and test out what the FGT FGT Elite is like with motion going. So I think this should be pretty cool. All right, as I say, I'm super excited to get this unboxed, so I am going to do that now. All right, so I have it unboxed, just two styrofoam containers full of cool stuff. No big surprises. It's all aluminum extrusion, carbon gray. Let me see if I can get one out here. So you can see, we'll get close-ups of that in time, but yeah, all very nicely cut. Looks great. Yeah, as I say, no big surprises here. Nice user guide, nice instruction manual for getting it built included. Next Level Racing always does a great job with this. Just very simple instructions here. And also they provide video instructions on their website for getting it built. And yeah, so I am just about ready to get this going. Boy, that is thick. There's some heavy duty materials in here. The shipping weight, by the way, 66 kilograms. So there's a lot of weight here. And again, circling back to the free shipping, that's gonna mean a lot. So yeah, very excited. It all looks great, simple packaging, and I'm gonna start the timer now and see how long it takes me to build my Next Level Racing FGT Elite. All right guys, so 2 hours, 40 minutes later, we have our FGT Elite. It's built, and this is normally where the reviewer says, oh, it's solid as a rock. And it is, frankly. There's not a lot of give, but I haven't tightened everything down yet. The reason being is I want to get the seat on here, I want to get my motion platform on here, get the pedals mounted, figure out what's comfortable for me before I actually tighten everything down. But what limited tightening I have done, everything else is just finger tight, but what limited tightening I have done, I mean, makes this thing just as solid as you could ever want. It's pretty impressive. The wiggle you're seeing is the cheap Costco table it's sitting on, but yeah, so I haven't put that together. As mentioned, the motion platform still needs to go on, so this is just kind of sitting there for now. But I want to linger here for just a second and talk about the assembly, because I have some strong feelings about the build process of the FGT Elite. And just for context, I've been working in the construction trade since the late 90s. I do all my own work around the house. There's hardly been another tradesman in this house, I don't think, in 10 plus years. And this is seriously one of the most impressive builds I've ever been fortunate enough to take on. I wish all my builds were like this. Not only was every nut, washer, and bolt plus some extra included, the instructions were extremely well done. The tools were even included. You can kind of see them in the foreground here. There's a little holder that captures the tools for future adjustments. And it's just extremely well done. It went together so easily. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes by myself. If you had a helper, you could maybe shave 20 minutes off that. It's not that daunting for one person, frankly, but just the level of intelligence that went into putting this together and making it easy to assemble is very, very impressive. And yeah, there was almost zero hiccups. I wish I had more to tell you guys about areas where I got confused or things that I think they got wrong in the manual. But honestly, I have really nothing to report. It's so well done. So much intelligence went into what am I trying to say? So much intelligence went into helping you build this easily in your own home. It's so impressive, and just tip of the hat to Next Level Racing. I think it's fantastic. And as I say, I'm talking from a place of experience and expertise. And yeah, very, very impressive. Seriously, one of the most amazing projects I've done at home. They just made it so easy. So next up, guys, as I mentioned, I want to get everything mounted. A lot of it is still loose. The seat rails are not mounted. Pedal plate is still just hand tight for now. And so I'm going to start mounting some of my gear and make the final adjustments. So we're going to skip ahead a bit, and next shot should be me actually seated in the cockpit, and hopefully I can get the sizing right. I'm a bigger guy, so hopefully I can get this adjusted to fit my like 2 meter plus frame. So we'll see how that goes, but so far, blown away. As I say, solid for what I've tightened, and the build just could not have been easier, and really just blown away by how much intelligence went into that. So nicely done to Next Level Racing. And now let's jump ahead to the me mounting the equipment and sitting in the cockpit and giving first impressions. All right, so as you can see, I've got my equipment just temped up for now, but I do have it mounted. Honestly, getting it set up for me took almost as long as building the entire cockpit. The reason being is there's just a ton of customization possibilities here, and I'm an unusually large person, so I was trying to get everything fitted to my liking, and I have managed that. It feels great in this position, honestly. I was a little bit afraid because I'm about 6'6" or 2 meters tall, and I was afraid there wouldn't be enough room. But the first adjustment I had to make actually was to bring the pedals back. So where they are now, as you can see, I can quite easily get full extension, but I have my legs reasonably stretched out there. So that pedal position is perfect. Wheel position, maybe a little bit high, maybe a little bit close, but pretty spot on for what I like it. Couple of rails here, obviously, in the aluminum extrusion that would allow me to slide that down if I wanted to. For now, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to test it out like this because this is going to be roughly my driving position like this, and this feels pretty comfortable. Honestly, I can get that wheel around no problem, and feels pretty good right here. Got my big shifter back. Everything feels very solid. yeah, overall the rig just feels incredibly well built. You guys have probably seen the other reviews, and they mentioned how strong it is, and I would totally agree. There's not a lot of budge in anything, and that's pretty amazing with the amount of customization you can have. So loving it so far, and it seems like everything is on point. There are these little clips here. They slide down the channels in the aluminum extrusion, and those are for your cable management. I got the same on the other side for the cable for the wheelbase. So yeah, it's all fairly simple, looking good, feeling strong, and of course the next thing, the last thing, is to test this out. But I'm loving the driving position. I got the Motion Platform V3 in there, by the way, and it tucks away nicely. You can hardly see it. I really like it. So looks compact, but plenty of space for even a big guy like me. And by the way, this ES1 seat, very comfortable. It's slightly tight through the hips, but to go with the height, I'm also heavier than most of the users will be, and it's not like it's so tight that it's uncomfortable, just kind of snug. So yeah, loving it. Feels comfortable, feels strong, and I can't wait to get this out on track, so let's do that. All right, so impressions of driving in the FGT Elite with ES1 seat. Well, I mean, there's not much to say, really. The best cockpit in the world would have you in a comfortable position and not move while you're driving. That's exactly what this FGT Elite delivers, frankly. It feels solid as a rock, and my seating position was frankly perfect. I mentioned earlier that I thought about adjusting the wheel to be a little bit lower, and I still might, but for now my sight line is perfect, and it feels comfortable with the arm extension as it is. So huge amounts of customization. If I choose to move anything later, I will, but for right now it's very comfortable, very solid, and delivering exactly as I had hoped. So not much more to say than that. Frankly, it's hard to really give live feedback on a cockpit because, again, it's just supposed to sit motionless while you have a comfortable drive and be able to move in the future if you choose to adjust anything, and it seems to deliver on all fronts. So just a very impressive cockpit. And now let's get into pros, cons, and my final thoughts on the Next Level Racing FGT Elite and ES1 seat. And just before I get into my pros, neutrals, and cons for the FGT Elite and ES1 seat, here are some of the key features you should be aware of. The FGT Elite price does include shipping to your door. You can adjust the seating and pedal position from a more upright GT position to a Formula Racing position with a more reclined seat and elevated pedals. There's also many steps in between these positions, so you can find the seat and pedal position combination of your preference. The chassis is made of carbon gray aluminum extrusion with solid metal wheelbase and pedal plates. A shifter and handbrake mounting plate is also included, and the cockpit is compatible with the Next Level Racing motion systems, and a butt kicker Gamer 2 can be directly bolted on. All of the required tools, nuts, bolts, and washers are included, and even a magnetic level. Adjustable feet for the base are included, along with end caps for the extrusion, cable management clips, a discrete holder for the included tools, and seat mounting brackets to accommodate either the ES1 racing seat or many third-party seats. The ES1 seat retails for $449 and includes seat belts. The seat is mostly polymer but includes molded foam under a suede finish for padding, and it can accommodate users with up to a 42-inch waist or up to 250 kilograms in body weight. So let's wrap up this review with things I like, things I'm neutral on, and things I don't like about the FGT Elite cockpit and the ES1 seat. And we'll start with the good, and definitely the build process and online support deserve recognition because they are excellent. Not only is everything included as far as hardware and tools, but also the build manual and online support videos are a huge help. It's really just a well thought out and simple build, and I love doing it. Also in the good category is the rig strength and customization options. Generally, a cockpit is a compromise of being able to rearrange components and being rigid, but the FGT Elite does both very nicely. Even being unusually tall, I found a very comfortable seating position, and only tiny amounts of flex in the rig can be found, but it's almost imperceptible. And I also like the looks of the FGT Elite. When I first saw the rig in a private showing months ago, I wasn't crazy about the colored pieces of curved metal around the pedals, and I'm still not, frankly, but my preference is the all black setup that I have and not the iRacing edition with the big blue components. But again, I think in all black it's a very sharp looking setup. The adjustable seating position is nice too. This is probably going to be something that most owners rarely use, which I'll touch more on later, but it's nice knowing that you can switch if your preference for what you race changes. The ES1 is also impressing me. It's snug for a bigger user, but still comfortable. In fact, it's such a great fit that I haven't bothered to install the seat belts that are included because I find that the motion platform doesn't move my body relative to the seat anymore, unlike the GT track. And lastly, in the good category, and something I deliberately saved for last on this list, is the motion compatibility. I'm sure only a tiny percentage of sim racers use motion, but it is nice knowing that your cockpit can at least have the capacity to add it in the future. So first up in the neutral category is the most controversial aspect of the FGT Elite, the price. If you factor in the shipping and number of customization options here, you get closer to understanding how Next Level Racing got to the $1,099 MSRP. But I think this cockpit is always going to be compared price-wise to the DIY aluminum extrusion builds that can be done for significantly less money. In my mind, this FGT Elite should be the flagship cockpit from Next Level Racing for now, but there should also be a less customizable extrusion rig, let's call it the GT Elite, for closer to the $700 or $800 mark. $1,100 is far from the most expensive sim racing cockpit you can find, but I really think that with this level of style, the all-in-one end-user friendly build, and having the shipping taken care of, a less expensive option in the same line would be really big. I'm keeping this one in the neutral category because I don't think the price is outrageous, but at the same time, it's not so undeniably well priced that people won't shop around. And the next three things on my neutral list are really just nice to have. First off, the organization of the parts in the box. It was logical, but some numbering stickers on the pieces of extrusion rather than just referring to them as small or medium sized would be a bonus. Also, I got used to having seat rails under my seat on the GT track, and moving the seat forward for other users took all of about 3 seconds. There is a seat slider system on the Elite, but it's a much slower system than the rails I had become used to. It's maybe below a cockpit of this grade, but again, nice to have. And my last neutral is the lack of casters. And this is something I brought up the first time I saw the Elite. Again, it's probably below a cockpit of this grade, but to include 4 casters of reasonable quality would have only cost Next Level Racing a few dollars. And for those of us who want to move our cockpits either for cleaning or rearranging a room, would certainly appreciate them at that point. And now moving on to the bad, or things I don't like, and the first one is the package weight. 66 kilograms is a lot to move around even for a big guy like me, and I get it, the weight is the weight, but I really think moving 145 pounds of metal in a single slippery box from your front door to whatever location in your house you're going to build it is a lot to ask of the end user. Breaking it up into separate boxes might be one option, or at least adding fabric straps that can be pulled out of the box and used as carry handles would make things way easier. And lastly, and this is a big one for me, the monitor mounting options. I've used the Next Level Racing single monitor stand for years now, and I can't use it with the Elite, unfortunately. It's about 1 inch too narrow. I had to loosen bolts to get it to fit. So long term, this means that I will need to procure a new stand. That in and of itself is annoying, but understandable. New product lines aren't always compatible with the outgoing lines, but here's the kicker. The new monitor stand is $399. That's 40% of the price of the cockpit it'll straddle. And from the looks of it, it's only about 6 pieces. And perhaps a smaller or more cost-effective solution could be designed to mount directly onto the Elite chassis and at least reduce the costs associated with the feet and 2 bottom pieces of extrusion. But overall, guys, I think this is a really fantastic chassis. Recording hardware reviews is a slow and tiresome process for me, and when I got done shooting the B-roll for this one, I just rewarded myself with a long drive in this cockpit, and frankly, it was amazing. Such a solid build and comfortable seating position, and I loved every minute of the drive. It looks great, it feels great, and it'll grow with me as a sim racer thanks to the huge amount of customization that's possible here, and honestly, I could hardly love it more. If you want to learn more about Next Level Racing's Elite series, including where to buy it, you can follow the link in the description below. Thanks very much for watching.